Hey folks, Eric Bray, Focus Fishing Guide Service. Got another video fishing report for you for Table Rock Lake. It is Tuesday, April the 25th. Been on the water quite a bit this week, or last week. Most of it over on Bull Shoals, but fished right up until I went to Bull Shoals last weekend. Fished Bull Shoals last weekend. Caught a ton of small fish. Weighed in limit both days, but didn't weigh much. Basically caught smallmouth over there. As far as our lake level is concerned here, that's probably the biggest story right now. We are at 918.09 as of 3:07 on Tuesday afternoon. Lake is coming down finally, but they are calling for quite a bit of rain this week. Rain tonight into tomorrow. Thursday, Friday are supposed to be pretty dry, and then Friday night, Saturday, and Sunday looks like we're going to get another pretty good deluge, calling for 2 to 5 inches. So pretty good chance the lake is going to be coming up. As far as our water temperature is concerned, it really varies quite a bit where you're at. Down by the dam, Kimberling City area, 67, 68. Up here, I'm at Cape Fair today, fished up here all day. Started off actually pretty cold with this dirty water. Started off at about 60 degrees. Just pulled off the water a few minutes ago, and we were at 68. I imagine by the end of the day it'd be 69 or 70, maybe even 72 in the backs of some of the pockets. As you can see, the water behind me, it's pretty stained up here. Actually, you got about a half a foot to a foot of visibility up here and on up. When you go further down, you get around I guess around point 12, it clears up quite a bit. Pick up about another foot or so of visibility, get around Ants Creek around point 10. It clears up quite a bit there as well. So the lake is clear down lake. Up here it's pretty dirty. Guided a couple of guys that are fishing a tournament this weekend or this week up this way. They're out of here on Thursday and Friday, so we wanted to go out of here. If you do come up this far, do be careful. There is quite a bit of debris in the water, some pretty big floaters out there, especially first thing in the morning. If you get wind like we had today, it'll push that debris towards the bank and get it out of your way. But first thing in the morning, there's quite a bit of debris floating around, so keep your eyes open. Don't be afraid to shut down the idle through it. We had to idle through a couple of different spots this morning because it was just basically scattered logs, almost a log jam, but they weren't jammed up, and we had to just kind of work our way through them. So be careful if you're coming up this way, or if you're going up the Kings. I'm sure the Kings and the White there around Shell Knob has probably got quite a bit of debris floating in as well, and so does Long Creek, I'm sure, too. So be careful. There is a lot of debris out there. But if you guys are coming down, say you're going to fish the lower end of the lake, pretty good bites going on all over the lake. I mean, we're about to that point that we always talk about of those 50, 60 fish days. This rain might mess it up just a little bit, but a lot of fish being caught. Best bites down there on the lower end, still catching quite a few on the Kitech swim bait, 2.8 fat impact. Fishing it on a 1/4 ounce jewel swim gem head, and basically keeping the boat 20, 25 foot deep, throwing it towards the bank, letting it sink about a 4 or 5 count, and then just working it back fairly slow. Catching a lot of fish doing that. A lot of fish coming on a Ned rig down at that end of the lake. Using the new jewel Ned head with a Bass Pro Cinco worm. Doing well with that. On gravel mixed with rock seem to be where the better ones are. Doing really well with the squirrel head down there as well. Did great down on Bull Shoals with the squirrel head, doing the same thing on the lower end of Table Rock, using the squirrel head and putting either a Zoom Speed Craw on it, a UV Beaver, or a UV Finesse Worm. All those baits are working down that way. The water's got a little bit of color down there, but it's not bad. It's not stained like it is here. A lot of fish coming down there. They're pretty much done spawning. You may find a bed here or there, a couple of fish scattered here or there that have pre-spawned, but for the most part, everything's done spawning at this point. And go to the Kimberling City area. Same bites are working. Really good bite on the Kitech swim bait. Again, keeping the boat about 20, 25 feet deep, targeting those suspending fish. Catching them mostly rock mixed with gravel points. Kitech 2.8 with the jewel swim gem and a 1/4 ounce has been my best presentation on that. Few fish on topwater in the Kimberling City area. It's not quite there yet. I think, another 3 to 4 days, even with this rain coming in, even if it's a cold rain, I think we're going to see the topwater bite really take off here in the next couple of weeks. Catching a few on a Sammy, catching a few on a spook, probably going to catch a few on a popper as well. So keep that in the back of your mind. You see fish chasing shad, make sure you have a topwater handy. And then the bottom baits are working as well. Jewel squirrelhead's been really strong with either a zoom speed craw or a finesse worm or a UV beaver. All those are working well. With this little bit of stain, dye the pinchers of the craw or whatever you're using, dye the end of it with either a little bit of chartreuse, a little bit of orange. That'll get you a lot more bites. Ned rig's working down there as well, using the new Jewel Ned head and matching that up with half of a Bass Pro Senko. Doing pretty well on that as well. Again, gravel mixed with rock. Kind of looking at those post-spawn areas. Look for the spawning pockets and look for those areas, the points leading into the spawning pockets. The fish are done spawning. They're moving out onto those points and catching them anywhere from about 10 to 15 feet deep, sometimes a little bit shallower on cloudy days. I know they are moving shallower and they'll even get up on the bank. And then catching a few on a spinnerbait down there as well. Mostly with the War Eagle. Double willow, mouse has been a really good color. If you get a cloudy day, coleslaw is a really good color. So catching a few on a spinnerbait as well, mostly around the flooded bushes when you have wind or if you have cloud cover. There are some fish up in the bushes. If you want to flip the bushes with a jig, a Jewel Pro Spider jig, I'm sure you can catch some out of the bushes flipping as well. We had a windy day today. I know I'm up the James. I ran all the way down close to Kimberling City, and we did catch a few on a spinnerbait down that way as well. Come up here up the James where I'm at. Best bites we had today. We threw a topwater a little bit, but I think it was just a little bit too chilly first thing this morning. Couldn't get a bite in that 60-degree water on topwater. Didn't see a whole lot of surface activity either. Had a few shad flicking here or there, but really didn't see the fish up chasing like you want to see them when you're throwing a topwater bait. But I'm sure if you came down in the evening or came down when it's a little bit warmer, you do a lot better with a topwater bait. Around, you know, spook, Sammy, those sort of baits in the backs of the creeks. There's a lot of shad in the backs of the creeks, so fishing those topwater baits is going to be really strong going forward. Our best bite did really well with the squirrel head down here. 1/4 ounce with a speed craw. Did well with a Jewel finesse jig, actually through the 7/16 because of the wind. Caught quite a few fish on that. Caught quite a few fish around boat docks today. It seems like the post-spawn fish down here or up here are relating to boat docks more than they are points. And if you've got a boat dock on a point and it's got a little shade on it, seems like our better quality fish came from those boat docks. So definitely key on boat docks if you're coming up this way. And did well with a spinnerbait. Mentioned we threw a spinnerbait a bunch, threw it down by Kimberling, threw it back up this way, especially late in the day when the water warmed up. Had a nice about 4.5, 5 pound smallmouth on a spinnerbait up here. Had a couple hit a rattle trap as well. So there are some fish up chasing shad, especially late in the day when the water warms up. Go up into the White River, and quite a few fish being caught up the White River right now. Ned rig's great. Catching a lot of fish on a Ned rig. Gravel mixed with rock. Points more than pockets right now. Squirrel head with either a speed craw, UV beaver, UV finesse worm. Again, put a little chartreuse on there. Bass Pro Tender Tube, using the new Jewel rattling tube head, has been working really good too. Puke in the clearer water, green pumpkin if you don't have clear water, and again tip the end of the tube with a little bit of chartreuse or a little bit of orange to get a few more bites. Spinnerbait's working on windy days up there as well around the flooded bushes. And then a wacky rig Senko or wacky rig trick worm has been really strong up that way. I don't know why it doesn't seem to be working as well in the rest of the lake, but it is working really well up the White River from Baxter on up. So make sure you have a wacky rig Senko or wacky rigged finesse worm or trick worm tied on, because a lot of fish coming on that. Most of the fish we're catching are 15 foot deep or less, maybe a few a little bit deeper, but for the most part it's been 15 foot deep or less. Top water probably going to start kicking on up there. Didn't throw it last week. The water was a little cold. Didn't see a lot of surface activity. And of course the swim bait 2.8 Kaitak has been working really well on the Jewel 1/4 ounce swim gem as well. So a lot of bites going on, a lot of fish being caught. It's been a good week. So guys, if you're thinking about coming down, I mean, now's the time to come. Now through May is when you hear about those 50, 100 fish days. They're done spawning. We'll catch them on topwater in the morning. We'll catch them on tubes, jigs, shaky head, Ned rig, that sort of thing throughout the day. And the nice thing about it is you just move a little bit deeper throughout the day and you continue to catch fish all day long. They don't get out there in that really deep water until mid to late June. So a lot of fish are going to be caught. Still have the lake to ourselves, to the fishermen. We don't have a lot of big boat traffic, pleasure boat traffic. So now May is the time to come, first week of June, first couple of weeks of June. Then we start to lose the lake to the pleasure boaters. So if you guys are thinking about coming down, maybe you want to hire a guide, give me a call. It's Focus Fishing Guide Service. You can reach me at 417-860-4743. Hit my website, focusfishing.com. Shoot me an email, book online, however it works out best for you. We'll get together on dates and times to figure out what works out. But I really appreciate you guys watching the videos, subscribing to the videos, going to my website. I appreciate all that. Thanks for doing it. If you have a minute and you haven't subscribed, please hit the subscribe button there on YouTube. Real easy to do, and you'll get an email telling you when the next video has come out. But thanks for watching. Can't wait to hear from you. We'll see you on the water.